Welcome to I Don't Need an Acting Class with Milton Justice. Well, hello, everyone. This is Walker Vreeland. I produce I Don't Need an Acting Class. And it's been a long time. We have taken a long hiatus. And now, despite the fact that we don't really have the time to do it right now, we are bringing back the podcast. We are coming back with season 8. And what we're going to do is we're going to release episodes as they come in, as they are available. And a lot of them will be Milton working one-on-one with students, either in a coaching setting or interviewing them about working on a particular project, trying to understand more about what a problem was or how a problem was overcome. And I will introduce each episode so you know what you're about to hear. This today is Milton working with his student Madior, and they're talking about this whole idea of personalization. What does that mean? What does personalizing something mean? Is it good? Is it bad? If it's okay, when is it okay? That is what this coaching session is all about. So welcome back. We're so happy to have you here. We have all kinds of things going on. We're about to open an acting school in New York City called the Actor Lab. We'll have more information about that very soon. And if you're in New York, how you can find out more and register. Classes begin September 15th. So stay tuned for that. But for now, here is our first episode of season 8 of I Don't Need an Acting Class. Thank you for being here.
You brought up something, Madior, the other day, which hit me, and that you were talking about personalizing something. And it was interesting to me because it's one of those concepts that I often think are misconstrued. I think the idea of personalizing, maybe it's the word, makes it feel like that you have to build a relationship with something that's personal to you and not personalizing it from the character's point of view. And it got me to thinking, and it really got me to thinking. And I think you brought up something about, thinking of a house and how, why not use your house? And I always think, well, of course, it's yes, you're personalizing it, but what really hits me is that it cuts off your creative impulses because, and for a couple of reasons. One, if I am building personalization, and by personalization, we mean I have a specific relationship to, say, a prop or the place, or maybe my partner, that I have a specific relationship to this. But in building the relationship to it, it hit me that it helps you define the character. And that's what I think is missing in the kind of common idea of what personalization is. I think it's been sort of mischaracterized as personalizing it meaning that it means something to you, rather than personalizing it from the point of view of the character. And I'm going to have to think about that. I'm not even sure it's a great word. Personalizing, it may not be a great vocabulary word.
I mean, yes. So my argument was we had a monologue where the character was dismantling a house, and I thought, why not my house? Because I have an immediate emotional response to my personal house where I grew up, and it's easier for me to, I guess, tap into that memory because it's a memory, it's a real memory. But what you're saying is it's kind of a lazy approach.
That's my thought, and it's interesting you should say that, because I remember in my book I mentioned it because there was a kid in New Zealand who was talking about he was supposed to be, I don't know, a D-Day or something at Normandy. And the teacher he had at the school had said to him, think of your mother's backyard. And I thought, well, of course you could relate to your mother's backyard. But I think that's where, and your conclusion about it is really smart, is that it's not about, oh, good, I connected. And this is where I think it all gets like fucked up. I think you think, oh, good, I connected.
Yeah, because it gives you an instant emotional response because it's stuff that is actually in your memory. Also, my other argument is, well, this is a big argument, but how accessible is it? You know, most people, they might not have access to all those memories in such an easy way, you know? And also, if you use it more than once, will it be as effective?
Well, that of course,
you know,
that's a big issue. If you've built, and it's a very important issue, if you have built it in your imagination, then you can always add to it.
Right.
Then, if you're dismantling a house, and it's a house you built in your imagination, and it's not feeding you, then you can add to it, and you're not limited to your own life.
The possibilities are endless because it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
so.
It doesn't exist.
Right.
So you can always, at the moment we're working in class on building the past of a character whose obituary you read.
Yeah.
And so you can always do more because it's in your imagination. You can always build more. It doesn't dry up.
Yes. I mean, the hard thing for me is not imagining the house itself, but building a relationship with it. So how does that produce an effect on me? You know what I'm saying? It's like I have a house.
Here's the thing. Yes, but here's the thing. I would say this. Look, you start to beat yourself to death when you go into it saying it has to produce an effect on me.
Right.
So instead you just say, all right, let me build this. I know what I'm doing. I'm dismantling a house. I'm going to make a choice about dismantling a house. And so maybe the road in, and when you look at, we actually started working on that monologue from the Donald Margulies play about going back to the house where he grew up.
Yes, that was a house. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing about it is, it then allows you, if you know about the idea, is to say goodbye to your past. And if you just, to me, you just go away and say, whoa, let me think about the size of that idea. Let me think about the size of the idea of saying goodbye to my past.
Not only his past, but his family.
And his family.
So that just gives me more stuff to build.
And I mean, the monologue is wonderful because Donald gives you this whole idea of seeing his mother's sewing machine. And maybe it's because my grandmother had a sewing machine, but it's just the idea of a woman who sews things, who in the house, and that he remembers his mother sewing things. And I thought,
yes.
My God, what a wonderful thing. It's almost like I could do the monologue just based on the fact that I'd personalized, if you will, from his point of view.
Well, going back to personalization, I don't know if you remember, but exactly about that, the mother sewing, I went back to a personal memory, which helped me in a way to get to that image, but wasn't exactly, I didn't build it and used it per se. I built it to get to that image, and it was my grandmother in the living room smoking. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, yeah.
And I guess that's a That's the use of personalization, at least for me.
I know. Here's the problem that I have with that. It's because it says I'm trying to get an effect.
Yes.
And so therefore I will go to anything in my life that might give me that effect.
Yes. I think
And that to me is dangerous for two reasons. And one of the reasons is because I cut off the joy that comes from inventive, imaginative work. And so it in other words, I miss the joy of, because I went to my life, I don't expand my life, but I miss the joy that comes from my imaginative life. And that's what, to me, it's I miss the fun.
is there a space where both worlds could live together? In
It's
terms
not
of,
could be lived together, they do live together.
Right. How
They
do you-
live together, you don't actively do it. You do not actively do it. Although I'll amend that a little bit. Your experience with the past is something that you have and you will always have, and it's always a part of you.
Yes.
So, and it doesn't matter whether you're building this house you're dismantling that is in a Donald Margulies play, you know, that has a mother and the sewing machine. It's like you have felt the loss of your grandmother. And so that's yours.
So you think
You bring it to it without working on
right?
it.
The imagination helps
You
open those doors to
but
memory.
you use all of you. It uses all of you. The problem I find is twofold. One, it says there is an effect that I want here.
Yes, I think that's the first mistake that
Yeah.
we
So I
make
need an effect here. I loved that the girl in class was crying when she
Yeah.
built something. I want to
mean-
be able to do that.
we love to feel, you know.
Yeah, and
we love
so
to feel.
I-
We want to feel. We want to, and that's a mistake, I think, because
Yes.
you're focusing on.
You're focusing on the
on
I need to
producing,
feel.
You know, I need to feel sad here, and so I will tap into a memory that makes, and that's the mistake.
Yes, that's a mistake. And the second thing about it is, I just think you cannot limit yourself as an actor, and it limits you. And I still remember I still remember. Stella saying to a girl, she said, Stella said, "Darling, why are you pausing?" And she said, "Well, I'm trying to find an action in my life that I can relate to." And Stella said, "Darling, if we wait for you to find an action in your paltry life, we'll be here all night."
Yes.
But I understood it. It's like, rather than digging through your life, think, wow, imagine. And the thing is, it forces you to use your imagination, because you are calling on everything you've ever read, every painting you've ever seen, even every movie you've ever seen. It's like, I'm going to build that house.
I think that goes with the saying that you start knowing nothing. Because if you think that you have it within your imagination, that's a risky thing, because you're not going to do the work.
But once you say, I'll find it, I believe in my imagination, I will find it. And I start to build this house. And I build the porch of the house. And man, it's like I build the porch of the house.
I think I understand it now.
I built the porch of a house that I saw that was my grandparents' farm. But I'm also stealing a little bit from the description of the ceiling
Yeah.
in a Herman Melville novel. And So you see what I mean?
What I'm getting is that the imagination is really limitless.
It's limited.
And the memory isn't. Simply.
It's good.
Thanks for listening to I Don't Need an Acting Class. Feel free to check out our website, idon'tneedanactingclass.com. And you can also find us on Instagram, @I Don't Need an Acting Class.